Welcome back. I've got a great special guest for all of you guys today as part of our world's greatest agent interview. Longtime friend, coaching client, and Harris certified coach, Brandon Jackson. So, Brandon, welcome to today's interview.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us.
A lot of people know and love you because they're premier coaching clients, and so they recognize you. So that's good.
I don't know if it's a lot of people love me, but some of them do.
Well, enough because I can't remember the last time anyone complained about you. So
Well,
that's enough for me. That's it.
If that's your bar of a good coach, then I'm worried. But
yeah, well, that's
I'm
it. I mean, that's my MPS score. If I get complaints, no complaints, they're good.
Good.
So let's talk a lot. We have a lot of ground to cover because I think your background, just from real estate, you own some gyms, and you've helped a lot with new construction. You're with EXP. You're a coach. There's so many things to talk about. Now, listeners, we always have lots and lots of questions, but frankly, very rarely do we use any of them because usually we get kind of in our own zone. So that's, I'm sure, what's going to happen to Brandon and I. So first of all, Brandon, how did we originally come across each other? How did we meet?
I was listening to your podcast and I knew I needed coaching. And I actually listened to your podcast and I was like, I don't think I like that guy. And then I listened to another podcast that you were a guest on. I was like, you know what, that guy actually knows what he's talking about. I'm going to reach out to him. And then I got interviewed by Rochelle. And then she goes, I'm going to connect you with Tim. You're a direct personality. You'll like Tim. And boom, the rest is history. Then you're coaching me for a good 5-6 years, I want to say, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Long time.
How long ago was that, though? It's more than 10 years, isn't it?
Way
more.
Yeah. We're probably close to 10 years.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
We've got a coaching client that we started coaching. I don't coach him consistently. He comes and goes. In 19... let me think so I get this right. 99, 2000, somewhere in there. Isn't that incredible?
That's awesome.
Yeah, coaching's awesome. I mean, you're doing that, but let's get to that. So with regards to your real estate market, where you sell real estate, what you sell, how long you've been in the business, like you were a manager of a huge brokerage. Yep. Give me some background.
Yep. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is just on the border between South Carolina and North Carolina. I started with new construction as an on-site sales agent. Quickly after a year of doing well but hating being stuck in a model, decided to try residential real estate. Joined a boutique firm, kind of a regional office, and then that grew into, hey, we need some help with recruiting. Hey, we want you to run it. And so then I helped grow that office from about 7 agents to around 100. Then I became the regional, or they call it regional president of the Carolinas or something like that. We had like 5 or 6 offices in this market. And that all came really a direct relationship to my coaching with you, growing my own personal production. And so I was doing really well. So was able to kind of like translate that to helping others kind of climb that mountain as well. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So in your marketplace, I mean, Julie and I've done some real estate deals with you for rental properties. What's your primary customer? What kind of product? What are you buying? What do you like? Tell us a little bit about that market because it's very, very dynamic where you sell. And it's one of the hottest markets and it has been for decades.
Yeah. Our median pricing is right around $450. So I think that's pretty common across the country. My standard volume for what I sell in is probably a little bit higher than that. And I do, most of my business is listings. I do some buyer's agent servicing, but most of it is on the listing side. And yeah, we're seeing a ton of growth. I mean, a lot of people moving to the area. Prices, just like everywhere else across the country, are seeing significant gains. I mean, one of the last properties I helped you guys get, I think we got it in the hundreds. I would say that property now is probably in the low 300s to mid 300s, just in the course of 5-6 years, or however long ago that was. So we've seen explosive growth just because of all the people coming here.
So lead generation, everyone always asks about that. So what are your primary sources of lead generation? Let me reframe it. I'll even make it harder on you, Mr. Brandon Jackson, coach. Okay. So if you had to take 5 listings in the next 30 days, and let's just say you have to do it, I'll make it even more interesting. You get a all taxes paid check for $1 million.
Sure.
Right? There it is. $1 million, take 5 listings in the next 30 days. And how are you going to do it?
Expireds. I mean, just focus all my time on expireds, new expireds, old expireds, door knocking expireds. If I knew like the time I had some significant time frame, or not a significant time, a shorter amount of time, and I needed it to get it done, I know that is the quickest way, the most direct path to getting listings.
Why expireds?
I mean, if you haven't been listening to Tim and Julie, I can shorten it up. Reader's Digest version. There's someone that has said, "I want to list my house." There's someone that has said, "I want to work with a realtor," and there's someone that said, "Hey, my best friend who I just hired wasn't good enough, so now I'm open to somebody else." So you have,
Yep.
I mean, everything, timing, perfection. They're open to ideas and suggestions. I mean, it is the most direct path to success. It's
You.
hard.
Yep. Sorry.
No, it's
Uh,
hard mentally, but it's the best. It's the best route.
well, you said something there that was, you said a lot of great things, but one in particular that I always forget this point. I was just on another podcast and I was answering the question the exact same way you just did, but you did say something. Your normal competition on a listing is going to be an agent that they know, centers of influence, past client type. Very
Yep,
rarely when you guys start selling lots of real estate, and those of you who are, you know what I'm saying, very rarely do you compete against another really great agent. It's almost always, somebody that they go to church with or whatever. Now, once that agent is no longer in the picture because they failed to sell the house, then that means that seller probably doesn't know somebody else.
that's right.
Yeah, and you also know they're willing to pay a commission. That would be the other thing I'd add on that as
Yes,
well.
yeah, exactly.
And so, let's talk about motivation. This is just for coaching, helping you guys understand the importance of his answer. Is that you have a lot of sellers? And Brandon, can you, while I'm talking, can you look in your MLS real quick to tell me how expireds there were in your marketplace in the last 180 days? If it's too
Oh,
difficult, don't worry about it. Okay, he'll
well,
be back.
camera. I'd have to pull up
Well,
my laptop here. Hold on. I
yeah,
can
well,
tell
yeah. So here's the thing. If you listen to an expired today is somebody that maybe 180 days ago wasn't as motivated as they are now. So, for example, they had a house that they were building and it was going to close next month or 60, 90 days from now. Their listing expired. They have this problem of a unsold home. Their previous agent didn't sell it. So now you've got an extremely motivated seller. They know what the price isn't. I mean, maybe, by the way, the price could actually be accurate now. It just needs some repositioning. That happens a lot too. Just because something was overpriced 6 months ago doesn't mean it's overpriced now. Keep that in mind. So you might now actually have to arm wrestle with the seller over price. But I mean, all the things that you want with a motivated seller, that's what you're going to discover. So, because he's looking that up, I'll keep talking. I was
284 in the
in the
last
last
30 days.
Okay, what your entire MLS? Oh, you said 30 days. And what's your entire MLS in the last 180 days?
180 days.
Entire MLS, not just
Yep.
your normal
No,
area.
I got you. 2,141.
Okay, so and that's one of the hottest markets in the country. And I was just on a EXP a webinar with somebody else having this exact same conversation, and their response was, "There are no expires. Everything's selling." What are you talking about, you orange shirt fool? There's no expires in our marketplace. Those types of answers. They were, I'm just trying to make you guys
I
laugh.
think that's more fuchsia, isn't it?
No, it's orange,
I
dude.
have no idea.
Look, orange and blue
I got
because
you.
that's EXP colors, and you're wearing black. You didn't get the memo.
Oh, I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
cool.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, I mean, and then they all did these. They all looked in the MLSs, the ones that were willing to play along, and the smallest number was like 2,200 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it astonishes me that so many agents will waste so much time. I'm trying to tee you up here. I'm going to hand it off in a second. Will waste so much time marketing, branding, doing videos, doing all this other crap, trying to hopefully find a motivated seller when there's thousands of motivated sellers in your marketplace right now who are looking for their agent to get their home sold. Go.
Go what? What's the question? Yes,
No
you're right
question.
on.
What are you thinking?
I mean, I think I'm just thinking about the agent you're telling that to, and what their internal story is that they're telling themselves. Well, I mean, the branding and all that stuff, and the social media and the TikTok, and I mean, that's just the easy path, right? Like, you're hoping that that's going to work, but that leads to ruin because, I mean, unless you have been in the business and sold tons and tons of property, that may generate some deals, but you can't depend on it. You don't know when it's going to come. You can't say, well, I'm going to do that next year because how? How do you know? So you live in stress. You live like constantly worried about where your next commission check is. And that's the value of being a proactive lead generator, is like there, even if like I didn't have a deal coming next month, but I was plugged in to doing my work. Like there is so much of a release of stress because I'm doing something to take control of what, like the direction I want to go, versus just hoping something happens. When you are
All right,
hoping,
let me break that down, because you're saying a lot, which is fantastic, and I really want them to understand it. There's proactive lead generation. That's you and the prospect, and you're having a conversation. You're talking to a decision-making adult about ideally selling, but either buying or selling real estate. You potential client, and then there's passive lead generation, which is frankly everything else. Now, we are proponents of doing passive lead generation and proactive lead generation. The proactive lead, so for example, we're going to stick on expireds, but there's over 30 different sources of leads you can be calling, which by the way don't cost you anything, no referral fees or anything. So if you're proactively lead generating, let's say there's a market there's 5 expireds, and you're going to call into those that market, and obviously follow our scripts and our system, get a listing appointments, ideally list those homes. If you just follow the system as is, you will be right as rain. Now, if you'd been mailing postcards or doing a lot of open houses, or if you had been working on your brand in that particular market, you will have an advantage over, because maybe you have a little bit more of name recognition in that particular market. But I want to be very, very clear. And this is the hard part. And Brandon, you made this mistake too when I was coaching you, right? Because you begin to be seduced into believing that you can do the proactive lead generation for a while. I'm going to make the calls. I'm going to do the real work of real estate. And then I've got it all figured out. Now I can just basically do the passive lead generation. See how he's laughing at himself because he made that mistake more than once, listeners.
oh yeah,
Okay, you have. And this is the real estate confessional, right?
that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, we have the old school of you more than me, All right. So, but the moral of the story is you can do the passive. That's fine. You can do the proactive. The passive makes the proactive better. But if you have to choose just one because you don't have endless amounts of time or money, right, waiting for your ship to come in, to his point, do the proactive 100% of the time. And I'll give you a really great example. Chuck Williamson. He's in Tracy, North Carolina, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, something like that. He earns over $1 million a year, and all he does is proactive lead generation. He has one assistant, and his average sale price is probably $225, $250. Okay, all he does is the proactive lead generation. All of our top coaching clients in the country are adamant proactive lead generators. Now, eventually, over time, if you have enough centers of influence and past clients, but you don't have control. You don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning if you're a passive lead generator or even a center of influence past client type agent. You don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning and there's going to be a lead there, but you do, to Brandon's point, if you're a proactive lead generator, because the world is always going to churn out lots and lots of expireds for sale by owners, notice of defaults, the list is over. Probate, exactly.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
why did you, putting you on the hot spot,
Uh-oh.
your coaching clients will love this as I'm trying to embarrass you. Why did you were a very good proactive lead generator for sale by owners and expireds, and then you would pop off that occasionally, and you would stop, take yourself out of that, the real work of real estate, and then you pick up here. Why? What was the cause of the cycle?
Yeah, I mean, this is taking me. I'm having like PTSD here with our coaching sessions back in the day. What would happen
Me
is
too.
I would have some big amounts of money on the docket, like pendings happening. Let's say it was excess of 3 months of my living expenses needed, and then I would just kind of wind back because look, why doesn't every agent go out there and call expireds? Because like mentally, it's a challenge. It's you got to get past your own fear of rejection. What are they going to say, and how it's going to make me feel bad? And it's a battle. I mean, we've had this conversation.
But a battle with the sellers, or it's a battle with yourself?
With yourself.
Yeah.
It's without. I
The
mean,
sellers
like
are easy.
yes, like when you're there in front of them, that was my jam. Like I love competing for the listing. That was the joy. I couldn't care less. I mean, I wanted the money, but I didn't really care about it. I cared more about winning that listing. So, but the hard work was getting through your own head junk of getting on the phones, right? And so when I had a lot of, in my perceived idea of money coming, it was like I would self sabotage and like take my foot off the gas pedal a little bit and start coasting, and then I'd get in trouble because then I'd be like, oh crap, I don't have closings next month, but it's because I had stopped doing the consistent work that got me the closings that were coming.
Yep. And that's you again, you said a whole bunch of great stuff. So obviously you're a longtime coach and client, by the way. So for example, the money that you're earning now is a direct reflection of the work you were or were not doing probably 3 or 4 months ago. So if you don't have the closings you want, it's because if you jump in the time machine and you go back 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 months, depending on your market, maybe 90 days, depending on your market, you're going to see a lot of time scrolling. You're going to see a lot of time trying to figure out the best way to make a YouTube video or working on your brand or doing all this other stuff, not putting yourself in the direct way of folks that'll actually choose you to do business. And it is fascinating too. He was really being honest about it is an ego battle, really, of putting yourself in a position where you could potentially face some sort of a psychological harm of being rejected. But the reality of it is the struggle is not with the seller, because the sellers always say the same damn thing, almost like if they have a script and a coach themselves who's telling them what to say. When somebody when Brandon calls about their expired listing, it's almost like they're reading from their own script, because they always say the same thing, which is great because you can then predict the result based on what how they're responding to you. So yeah, it is. It is. You deal with this with your coaching clients too. It's a nightmare trying to get them to move past the idea that there's an easy button, because everybody lies about there being an easy button. And you own some gyms. I mean, people come in there looking for easy buttons all the time too. I mean,
Of course.
how have you successfully overcome the lure of an easy button?
I think that I'm stumbling here, but no, I haven't, because it's a constant battle. I mean, it could be a different area of your life. Like, um, the realities are that there's nothing worth getting in your life that you don't have to struggle to get. In my personal opinion, physically, it doesn't just happen. I mean, it sells millions of dollars when there's a pill that you'll lose 20 pounds if you just take this pill. It'll sell millions of dollars worth of the product. But will it work? No, it doesn't. Time and time and time. It doesn't. It always fails, right? So what doesn't fail is the actual consistent work that will get you to the goal. And so unfortunately, it's easy to get, lured into those desires of not having to work for it. But the reality is, it takes work. Unfortunately, it just takes work.
There's a whole generation of agents. Really, if on this webinar I just did prior to, or this Zoom I did prior to this one, it was like, I asked the people how many of them had been in the business for 15 years or more. In other words, how many of them were in the business prior to the Zillow and all the rest of it, when it became normal to buy buyer leads and all this. And there was 3 hands that went up and that had been in the business for, pre-Zillow. And so the rest had only come up in the industry when it was normalized. Okay, I got my real estate license. What do I do now? You buy leads. And so if you're in an environment where your office manager, your broker, your team, your everyone, like there's whole teams, your previous brokerage, they did this too. Like, you join us because we're going to give you leads. So there's like all your competitors, dear listener or viewer in this case, all of your competitors have never learned how to be proactive lead generators. So if you want to know where the opportunity is, it's where they're not. So if they're all trying to buy leads, if they're all trying to do the passive stuff, you got to do the opposite of what they're doing. Oh, everyone's calling expireds. No, they're not, because they don't know how. 15, 20 years ago, yes, that was true. There was a lot of competition with doing the real work of real estate. But now this whole generation of agents have come up only knowing how to get their credit cards out until their credit cards are maxed out, looking for the next easy button. So when you're dealing with the coaching client and they're constantly being pulled in that direction, what do you do to, like, it is hard. It's the hardest thing right now because there's so many, I mean, I don't even want to say something too harsh, but there's so many well-meaning marketing types out there that have never sold real estate before, who are just trying to sell agents the easy button. And if an agent's constantly being reinforced with the idea that there's an easy button, how do you get them back on track and make them realize that the only way they're ever going to get what they want in life is by doing what they don't want to do, and they don't want to do it at the highest level?
Well, I mean, part of that, they answered themselves by hiring us, right? I mean, if it was just easy and all you did, you bought leads, then why do you need a coach, right? I think the reality is they hire us because they realize it's not working, or they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to buy Zillow leads, and they're getting maybe a deal every couple months, or they're dependent on their broker and they have to pay a higher split, and they want out of that scenario. They want to be able to earn, and so they call us typically because they recognize that they need to change, and so we are hopefully the voice of reason that helps them see the light of what it is to truly earn your results.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the truth. And it's like you touched on this. Everything you want in life is going to take. I used to say 10 times longer than you think it should, but I think it's more like 20 times longer than you think it should.
Yeah.
So if you want to, it's the skills-based approach, which always is going to win. And I've heard different things, but the amount of time that an average agent is in the industry now it's not getting longer, it's getting shorter. And why is
Yeah.
it getting shorter? Because all these agents are coming in with their heads full of this idea that, it's the easy button. It's I'll buy leads, I'll buy the branding, I'm going to be a YouTube star, all these things. But that doesn't put you in front of the people that are actually going to transact with you. And that's going to make it so you're not going to make any money. You might have the best YouTube channel ever, but you're not going to make any money selling real estate. If you get any leads from it, you hear people say all the time, well, I got a lead from Facebook. Well, let's talk about that. So what do you mean you got a lead from Facebook? Oh yeah, 123 Elm Street. They messaged me through Facebook. Well, did you ask them why else what does that even mean? Well, they must have seen my Facebook. They're one of my friends. They're one of this, the other thing. Well, if you were to ask that person, this goes for any of the platforms, right? Why did you actually call me or contact me? You ask the same question twice, basically. The second time, they're going to tell you the real answer. And they're going to say, well, you sold my neighbor's house, or, so-and-so knows you, or so-and-so mentioned you, or whatever. You're going to find out that, there's some reason that they contacted you and they just happened to message you through Facebook because they didn't have your phone number or your email address. And so agents don't think to ask the second question. And so they're thinking, well, I got this lead from TikTok, or I got this lead from Instagram. I want you guys to be super clear. We're only telling you all this because it's the truth. And we're only telling you all this because we want you to win. We don't want you to lose. We don't want you to suffer needlessly. The pain that comes from taking the bad advice and following the wrong path is going to stay with you forever because you're going to doubt yourself. Can you talk about that? Like agents.
Yeah, and something else. I mean, Tim is not saying don't get on social media and advertise. I mean, what we're trying to say is that is one part of what you should be doing. The focus should be doing on the proactive lead generation with the support of social media. So it's not like Tim saying, don't ever do anything with Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. He's just saying don't make that your main source of marketing. The main source of marketing should be talking to the decision makers, face to face, over the phone, door knocking, picking up the phone, and then the other things are there to support that activity.
Yeah. And if you only have to choose one, do the proactive lead generation,
Yes,
because really
obviously.
that's how you're going to be directly in front of folks. Yeah. It does seem so obvious. And I often wonder when I'm telling people I'm wondering, like, because I've said it so long, I can't think any other way. And I wonder sometimes if I could say it more effectively so we could help more people faster. But I just think, honestly, some people just aren't ready for the message.
Or they need to go through it and experience it themselves.
They need to suffer,
Yeah,
basically.
unfortunately, and we're a bunch of humans that, it's hard to learn from other people's mistakes, right? It's a lot easier to fail than like, crap, I don't want to do that again. And what we do as coaches and what you do in your podcast is hopefully convince enough people to learn from those that have gone before them and failed and said, that didn't work. This is the best path. And so
Yep.
that's why hopefully you're coming and you're listening right now because you want to be better and you recognize that other stuff, it's just going to take you down the wrong road.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And yeah, I mean, what's the old saying? A wise man learns from his mistake. A brilliant man learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
And you're right. It does take a certain level. There's a difference between being smart and being wise. A lot of people are smart, but you have to essentially allow yourself to be wise, honestly, because a lot of times our intellect is the easiest way to manipulate us, right? But if you start being wise, and the easiest way to be wise is ask yourself, is this idea that I'm being presented, is it complicated or is it simple? In other words, am I being told to do something that's 47,000 different steps? Is it an overly analytical thing? Well, it's probably not going to work. Or, so the wise person would say, well, ultimately, if I'm being told to create this 47 different stage funnel to generate a lead, why don't I instead go to the MLS and call a flip and expired and skip all that? That's called wise. So let's pivot. All right. New construction. You've done a lot with
Yep.
new construction. That's been kind
Yes.
of a honey hole for you. Share with
Yep.
someone how they could actually start focusing on new construction, or how did you start?
Yeah. So one, this isn't one. Someone comes in, they just got their real estate license, and they say, I'm just going to focus on new construction, because what this is, it's a relationship game, just like most of these other things. It takes building your relationships. Well, what I would do, one is I would find out who your local spec builders are, someone that does 1 to 10 houses a year, maybe a little bit more than that. And then you find ways to help them. And that's what I was doing. I was building a relationship with these guys. They were doing, at the time when I started with them, 500,000 when the median was 300,000, and now they're up to 700s, over $1 million properties. And so I had to prove myself that I was good at what I did, so have success. I had to continuously go to them and remind them that I'm there. And then over time, they gave me a shot. And then I did well with that shot and earned more business. But then it's continued. Everybody wants a builder's listing, right? And so a lot of people are going after them. You have to keep performing at a very high level, making sure they're super happy. Calls at midnight, you got to answer it. If that's the direction you want to go, and they're going to be a big source of income, you've got to make sure you're servicing that client better than anyone else would. So it's a long-term commitment. If you're willing to put it forth, you can get there. Other ways to get there is go find properties that they would want to buy and build on. So
So
you find the lead and go ahead.
so
Yep.
you're focusing on, which is where your greatest experience has been, on, I will say, small and medium sized builders. And if you're coaching somebody to basically start trying to get referrals from, say, a big DR Horton type new build rep, what would you suggest then?
It still goes back to building relationships with the on-site sales agents. So I was an on-site sales agent, and if someone came in and they had a house to sell, I could care less. I'm not. What do I know? I'm just trying to sell my listing, my builder's spec. And so who they hired, I don't know. Go hire your best friend. I have no idea. But if some agent had taken the time to bring me coffee, drop me off a cookie, whatever, like built a relationship, and that person could, yeah, we've got to sell our house. I'll be like, you need to call Steve. He's an awesome agent. I'll connect you guys. He'll do a great job for you. It doesn't cost me anything, right? I didn't lose anything by telling them about Steve or Jennifer or whoever, right?
Well, it's important that they understand. So the on-sites, especially in the big builders, they don't do anything outside of that model home. So
No,
if they have a buyer, to his example, that walks in and has a house to sell, they're not taking that listing themselves. They're going to refer
no,
it to another agent. Yeah, that's a
absolutely.
huge gold mine. Yeah, in some markets, that's an enormous opportunity.
And honestly, a layer above that, I've had buyers agents write my name down on the deal. I wasn't there. Like literally, the buyer came in and said, "Hey, we really want someone to represent us. Hey, Brandon, are you okay helping these people? It's a $400,000 house. They're getting ready to write up the contract. Yes, I will help them." And boom, I would make money, and I didn't do anything to generate the client, but I had generated the relationship with the on-site agent. And then I also got listings, and so listings and buyers. I would get two sides of a transaction just because I had the relationship with the builder. But again, that's like cultivating a relationship over time, maintaining it, doing the things that they're going to want to refer you business for.
Well, basically, what that is your professional centers of influence. By the way, that's what he's describing.
Yep.
So you decided to join EXP Realty, and
Yep.
which I was thrilled about. I mean, I tried to get you to join EXP Realty
For
for
years.
years.
For years. And I
Brandon,
was like, no.
exactly. This is even while I was coaching him. Okay, you think I'm a good coach? I couldn't coach him into switching brokers. So, but Brandon's a good example of, it's never no. It's just not. It's no, not right now. and
Yeah.
his was no, not right now. And truthfully, his situation, he had his prior brokerage, it made more sense for him to stay there. So when it didn't, that's when he moved. But so you're at EXP. You're obviously one of our top coaches. Our clients, again, they don't complain about you, so that's good enough for me. You've got a lot of people that are joining EXP under you. So you've been at EXP for a while now. Give us some feedback. I mean, why did you move
Yeah.
over? You know, everyone in your local market wanted you to run their office and whatever. Why did you choose EXP?
I mean, there's so many different levels, and it's going to depend on the person, right? Like the biggest things for me was, what am I paying to the broker? So my net profit, and what Tim and Julie talk about all the time, is really focusing on your net that you're going to actually walk away with, because our product is our profit, right? And so,
Yep.
like, one, making sure I wasn't going to a brokerage where I was going to never see a cap, because I considered a couple other large brokerages when I was going to make the switch, but they had a percentage that I had to give to them, and that never changed. No matter if I made them $1 million or not. And so I quickly pushed that to the side. And then separately, there's things about EXP that I appreciated even more after the fact. One being that there's so much different opportunities to get better. And what EXP does really, really well is it incentivizes their best agents to teach and mentor and give advice to help bring everyone up. And so you have this environment of everyone around you wanting you to be better. And so many offices, it's very competitive. Everyone closes their door. They don't want you to know what they're doing because they don't want you to learn their secrets. And I feel like, you're not paying them a lot at EXP. You're giving them your cap, but then you get so much more from them that helps you actually earn more money. And so to me, like that vibe, that feel was worth even more than the small cap that I was paying.
It is strange to try to explain it, but because okay, let's just make it practical, right? So obviously if there's two types of listeners right now. You're either EXP Realty curious, or you're ready to join EXP, or you're frankly already in EXP. So there's three, I guess. But if you're EXP curious, or if you're ready to join EXP and you're looking for a great sponsor and you love Brandon, and I know you do, I would strongly encourage you to reach out directly to him. And when you do, and you choose Brandon as your sponsor, guess what else you get? You get everything that's as part of our EXP revenue share group, which is called Libertas, including free access to Premier Coaching. And he's one of our Premier coaches. So what I'm asking all of you to do is, if you're EXP Realty curious, talk to Brandon. If you're ready to choose your sponsor at EXP Realty, talk to Brandon. Brandon, what's your phone number?
704-737-4728. And obviously that's my direct cell phone. So happy to get on a call and just chat and, lay it all out there, figure out what's the right step for you.
And so when you have Brandon as your sponsor, you're going to get all the benefits of Libertas, but you're also going to get free access to Premier Coaching, but you're also going to get access to him. And this goes back to the point he was making. One of the, I think, truly genius things that Glenn Sanford did when he was designing EXP is the revenue share program. So Brandon and I and Julie, and now almost 3,500 people, are partners at EXP Realty. So we're all literally partners. We all benefit from each other's success. So Julie and I have been in the industry for decades, and people have always said that, right? Oh, we like to help each other, da 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 da. But you always kind of sense that, if you ever gone to a real estate event, you'll notice that all the people on the stage say the same stuff. It's because they don't want you to know the things that are truly working, because they don't want the competition. Their motivations, their incentive structure is such that they want to keep what's really truly working to themselves. At EXP Realty, if you have Brandon as your sponsor and he's, talking to other people and knows what's actually working, he actually has the financial incentive to help you be successful selling real estate. And and that's the whole benefit of EXP because of the revenue share plan. So if you're ready to join EXP Realty, which I know thousands of you are, or if you're just EXP Realty curious, I'd strongly encourage you guys to reach out to this guy. Julie and I have known, loved, and trusted him forever. I mean, we gave him a Ferrari for his birthday a few years ago. Of course, it was a model. I should say that. It was a model.
That was still what such a great birthday. So I appreciate it. It meant a lot. That was awesome.
But yeah, so your phone number again is
704-737-4728.
If you can write that down and put it up on a piece of paper, that way I can use it for the thumbnail, that'd be great.
Oh, you didn't prepare me. I have my
Oh, I know.
card. How about that? I'll zoom my card in.
Okay, no, you can. If you can hold it steady,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
fine. If your phone number's on it, no, over this direction. Okay, there you go. This direct, go over to the other side more. I think your right side. Go to your right. Okay, right there. Hold it right there. All right, perfect. 704 737 4728. Just
got it.
text him. Just text
Yeah,
him and let you know you want to have the XP Realty conversation. So look, we're in the third year of what I think you could call a bit of a housing recession. You know, sales are off, available inventory is off, the whole thing. And agents are struggling like never before. And so if someone were getting in the business today and they wanted to hit the ground running and they don't have, and let's say something, we'll just I'll answer my own question by saying expires. But in addition to expires, what would you tell that agent to do urgently so they can start making money now, not sometime in the future when the whiz bang marketing idea may or may not pay
yeah.
off?
I mean, so you got to put forth a lot of effort. I like to say it's like getting a train moving. Like that thing is a big, massive amount of weight, and it takes a lot of energy to get it moving down the track. And so when you're starting, expires without a doubt. Getting up the phone, calling. Fizbos, I would reach out directly. That's another person that has raised their hand and said, "I'm looking to sell my house." You
And
get
I
one,
don't have, and I don't know a realtor.
and,
Otherwise,
and
I
I
would.
don't. That's
Yep.
right. A lot of times they don't know realtor. They figure they give it a shot for a week or two, and then hopefully they'll find an agent. But you can be that agent for them. And then I would be highly focused on making sure I was having a lunch or a coffee every day with my sphere of influence. I'd focus on growing my sphere of influence to make sure people knew. And then I would also be laying on top of that social media, making sure people know what I'm doing, that I'm touring a house, that here's something that just hit the market, that new design options, whatever. I would layer that on top of the other things, the proactive ones. And I'd just be every day grinding, focus on how many people I can talk to let them know what I do and try to find out if they need help. And I mean, if you want to get started and start making money within 30 days, that's the quickest pathway to get there. Is just those three lead sources.
And isn't it fascinating what he said all of you guys knew? I mean, he didn't say anything you didn't already know, right? If you want to
No,
make money, go to people that actually want to spend money, right? You know, it's all, I mean, Julie and I, in our first year in business, we still get to the question to this day, how did you guys sell over 100? It's like 105 houses with our pendings. And yeah, it seems like a big number. And truthfully, we didn't even count until the year was almost over, but it's exactly what he's just saying. I mean, Julie and I went after for sale by owners and then a lot of expireds, and we'd knock on their door and we would, find out what the heck their motivation was, what their time frame was, what they were going to do on the next house. So every listing we would take, sure enough, that person wanted to buy a house 99% of the time. Those folks wanted to move up to something. And oh, guess what? We were probably going to sell that listing ourselves to their buyer, and so on and so on and so on. So why people spend so much damn time trying to create business when the business is out there constantly surrounding you, it just honestly doesn't make sense. And I feel, again, I don't want to see agents, and it breaks my heart, truthfully, to see agents fail out of the business. That's what I was trying to touch on earlier, because what's going to happen is they're going to doubt themselves for the rest of their lives. They're going to remember themselves as the person that tried and gave up. And I'm here to tell you guys, every single one of you can succeed at an incredible level in real estate. And you can. You just have to follow the right path. You have to follow the path that's been proven. It's climbing Mount Everest, right? Supposedly there's so many people now that want to climb Mount Everest. There's like a backlog of people trying to take the right paths, but
sounds fun.
there's a path to the top of the mountain that's proven to work in all times, during certain times of the year, that you're going to get up there, you're going to have that experience, you're going to come back down. Occasionally on the way up the mountain, when somebody chooses an alternative path, you're going to walk past literally a frozen body. That's somebody that basically chose to go when they wanted to go, maybe chose an alternative path, wasn't prepared, said, I'll just figure it out along the way. And those people ended up, unfortunately passing away on the mountain. Same thing happens in real estate. I mean, people choose the wrong path. They go for the easy button. They're seduced by the idea that they have to be a brand or a star. Look, guys, if you want to be a brand or a star, and if you want to believe all that, it's fine, but just do the proactive lead generation first. That's it. That's all we're saying. If you want to be a YouTube star, be a damn YouTube star, but do the proactive lead generation first. I don't know, because I don't want to, it breaks my heart to see you guys suffer. It breaks my heart to see you guys fail, because you carry that with you your entire lives. And this business, everyone can succeed. Here, think of it this way. So we're in the third year of a real estate recession, let's call it, and there's predicted to be somewhere in the middle 5 million home range. That's not including new construction. So 5 million new homes, say I'm not new homes, at 5.3, 5.4 million home sales this year. Julie and I are hearing different things, not including the new construction that never hits the MLS. So let's just stick it with 5.4. That's 5.4 million listings, right? 5.4 million listings. And how many expireds were there in your market in the last 30
Oh,
days?
and they also have a buyer's agent, so that's actually 10 million transaction size,
Thank you. Yes,
not
exactly.
including new construction.
Yeah, the allergy medicine's getting the
Yeah.
best of me, but you're right. Yeah, right. I mean, not including.
How many deals would you need to do really really well in business?
Yeah, and think when you and I first started talking, what was your average sale price? It was like 225,
Yeah, I'm probably like right around like 250 maybe,
and now it's
and
yeah,
like 550 600,000.
yeah, and it's because homes have doubled in value in like the last
Yeah,
3 years,
yeah.
and they're going to continue to increase in value. I mean, so you guys are in the right place at the right time. Everyone with a real estate license, you're smart enough to get a real estate license. You're actually selling something that everybody needs because everyone always needs a home to live in. God bless homeless people, right? But the reality of it is you're selling something that everybody needs. Everyone's going to buy or sell, no matter who the president is, no matter what their interest rates are, no matter all the rest of it. And so you just got to allow yourself, give yourself permission to be successful. And guys, go after the folks that have their hands in the air and saying, yes, I want to transact. It's not that difficult. That's the reason when we say it, and we said it now 100 times in the past 41 minutes, it's resonating with you right here. But then the next thing, look what's the time difference between, like, how much time passes between it resonating right here and you saying to yourself, yes, I can do it, and you feeling it, and then all of a sudden your ego creeping in. Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, you're gonna have to make a phone call. Oh, you're gonna feel uncomfortable. Oh, you're gonna have to do all these things. Oh, why don't you just wait for Zillow to sell you another lead for a 43% referral fee, right? Look at the time spread between you actually having that little epiphany and allowing that seed to germinate in your heart, and then you killing it because fear creeps in and doubt creeps in. That is a perpetual cycle that's never going to end. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking truth. I mean, that's it. I mean, if you really want to achieve success, we've laid it out. There's no silver bullet. There's no easy button. I wish there was. Tim, I have tried. You've coached me through it. I have tried, and it doesn't work. It ends in ruin if you just continue to go up. I'll try it. I'll try it, and then that doesn't work. I'm going to try this other thing, and then you move on to the other thing, and you're constantly trying things out to only learn that, like, what we're saying here right now is 100% truth based on real evidence. We're not guessing. This has been done time and time and time again in every market across the country by millions of different agents and personality styles and hairstyles and clothing, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're doing the work. It works. That's it.
Yeah, I can't end any better than that. So at the end of the day, get to work, do what you don't want to do if you want ever increasing levels of success in your business and personal life, he's saying it in his head. Do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. You know what? I hate that that's true.
Yeah,
I
me
do.
too. Me too.
I don't like working out. You like working out. I come on now. But the reality of it is if you do that for long enough and you do it at a high enough levels so you're actually getting the results, which you can do, at some point you will be doing more of what you want to do, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it, when you want it, the whole thing. The pendulum starts to swing back towards freedom. But you got to earn it. Otherwise, you're going to stay on that hamster wheel forever. So you want to say anything as we round the bend, even though I just said I wouldn't?
No, I mean, that's great. I think we said enough. I mean, we're here to help. At the end of the day, Tim has thousands upon thousands of podcasts that are there to give you the truth about being successful. If you need a coach, I'm happy to coach you. Come be a part of it, knowing that we can show you the right way to start making money quickly and consistently.
I would want you as my coach. You know why?
Why?
Well, it's because you're willing to do the real work, but
Yep.
also because you did struggle with doing the real work. And because you struggled with doing the real work and then you got back doing the real work, you can completely understand the people that are struggling to do the
Yeah.
real work. You
Yep.
can work them through their fear and their ego and the rest of it. And you can speak truth because, you've earned the right to. I mean, you do have that level of, I mean, dude, you're operating at conscious confidence now, right? You're operating at the highest level with regards to selling real estate, but probably now also with coaching too, I imagine, especially on this topic because you've lived it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I have you and Julie's voice in my ear constantly.
that's right.
So
Well,
I know.
we do the podcast every day. So I'm going to wrap up today, guys. So if you want Brandon Jackson to obviously be your coach, he can be your coach, especially if you're in his EXP group. So how do they get hold of you again? What's your phone number again?
704-737-4728. Instagram is Brandon is my realtor. Nice and easy. If that's the fastest way you want to connect. So yeah, want to help. We're here.
All right, good. So listen, housekeeping. Don't hang up because your end of it has to upload. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to end it, but don't hang up.
Okay. How long?
Don't like disconnect. Okay. All right. I'm ending it now. God bless everyone. Have a good day.
See you.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.